Right, that is a whole lot better. I can now see I'm connected and everybody's here coming in. Okay, so I'm very, very sorry for that little delay, guys. It wasn't intended. So let me start saying a few hellos to you guys and stuff like that. Okay, hopefully you're going to kind of bear with me a little bit while I'm doing this stuff because it's kind of I'm trying to evolve the show as we go along. So there's lots of new things I'm trying to deal with, lots of setup my end that you don't see and things like that. So hopefully you'll bear with me, guys. There's just a few little teething problems this morning, or even this evening. So let me say a few hellos. If you're out there, you know, and you comment, then it should be straightforward for me now to comment back to you. Okay, so we've got Susie and we've got Maxter, we got Palmer, we got Leo. I'm watching on the TV tonight, Leo. I've finally got it all up and running. We got Terry as well. Hey, Terry, I'm glad you could make it. And we got Paul Hilliker. Great to see you, Paul. So this is going to be my little hello section, okay? Because we've got a lot of stuff to get through tonight. You made it, Freewheel. I'm really pleased to hear that. And we got Case Smiths. Okay, so we got people coming along and turning up. So this is your first little kind of opportunity to say hello, folks, to everybody watching the stream and also to myself because I've got an awful lot of material to get through tonight. And so we haven't got a whole lot of time to do things. So let me start off by saying I hope that you're all well with this new kind of dilemma and thing we're all having to deal with, the old coronavirus. I do hope that everybody's keeping safe and well. Hi, MTBR. I am well. So yeah, that's the main thing. So I'm thinking, given the current situation, you should all kind of have perhaps a little bit more time to do a bit of plucking on the guitar. So I hope you've all got your guitars ready tonight because we're going to have another great big play along. Hoping everybody's going to join me for that. I'm going to show you a new song. Now, whether you're a beginner or you're intermediate or advanced, there's still something for you to learn. So get your guitars at the ready. We're going to be diving into that very shortly once after I've kind of said my hellos to everybody. Okay, so I hope you're all doing very, very well. And let's get on with things. Okay, so I don't know if any of you have been kind of following up on the album of the weeks that I've been doing. Okay, so we started out with Muddy Waters with Folk Singer, which is in fact a great record. And then Good Evening, Willem. Glad you could make it, and I'm glad you could make it too, Julie. I know you've been busy. So, yeah, we started off with the Muddy Waters album, Folk Singer, an absolutely wonderful acoustic blues album if you're interested in the blues type of thing. Very, very worthwhile a listen. Now we have Clara here, which is really, really good, with Ettore, I believe it is. Now I'm going to come on to that in a moment and kind of tell you guys because I get a lot of emails and a lot of letters and things like that from everybody. And it's really, really heartwarming. Some of these letters alone just make it worthwhile, the whole thing that I'm actually doing. And I'm glad that Clara's joined us tonight with her son because I just wanted to mention that she wrote to me, kind of saying that her son, her 11-year-old son, Ettore, I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not great at my Italian, but he was learning a song at school and had been kind of given with or without you by you too, and just told to kind of learn it without a whole lot of instruction. So I'm going to be taking a moment to help out Ettore and Clara. So that's what we said earlier on. Yeah, we're going to be taking a look at that very, very shortly. Now, of course, there are so many people stuck at home at the moment. Yeah, you're very welcome, Joel, for the help. So many people stuck at home at the moment with their children, with elderly people, just generally all of us, obviously. So it's kind of trying to find things to do to keep entertained, to keep your spirits high. And I don't think there's anything like one of these, really, is there, for kind of keeping your spirits where they should be, nice and high. Yeah. So I'm hoping that you're all kind of able to do a little bit more on your guitar and improve your skills. Okay, now For those of you who aren't sure, okay, I have a YouTube channel, obviously, and I know that many of you are all kind of aware of this kind of stuff. Great to see you, Andrew. And but just for those of you who aren't too sure, I have a YouTube channel, and the link is down below. And I also have a Facebook group. It'd be fantastic if you could sign up over at the Facebook group, because you're going to get an awful lot of information, okay? And I'm going to come back to that later in this show. And there's also a link to my Patreon page as well, for those of you who might be interested in that. That's where you can kind of support me, and there's lots of exclusive material. I'm sure a lot of the guys on here will tell you that that's a very worthwhile investment for the kind of price of a cup of coffee. Now, given that there's a lot of kind of people stuck at home at the moment, okay, we're going to start off with something for the children, right? So I don't know if you've got like grandchildren or things like that, or, you know, young children about the place and things. So it would be really, really wonderful if you can share your music experiences with, you know, kind of the young people in the world, because that's what kind of got me started with my guitar playing journey, really. It was watching my dad play guitar and things like that, you know, that really got me started. So if you ever get the opportunity to play to your children or your grandchildren or your great grandchildren, hello there, Bristol Blue. So we're going to take a look at a very, very simple song that kids can learn, all right, youngsters can learn, or, you know, grandparents can learn to kind of play for their children, because I want to make this as accessible as possible. It's not just for kind of intermediate guitarists and advanced guitarists. Hello, Dominic, great to see you. I haven't seen you before, and it's wonderful to have new people coming along here. So to start that off, we're going to take a look at Drunken Sailor, okay? And there's just 2 chords, all right? Now, all you guys who are kind of advanced and stuff, you'll have to bear with me. We've got to do something for everybody tonight, all right? So the chords you need to know are an E minor chord, right, which is this chord. Now I'm going to put that a little bit closer so you can see that. All right, it's the 4th and 5th strings on the 2nd fret. All right, you got that? 4th and 5th strings on the 2nd fret. And the other chord you need to know is a D chord, I should say. And to play a D chord, you just put your 1st and your middle finger on the 2nd fret, 1st and 3rd strings, and then put your ring finger on the 2nd string of the 3rd fret. Okay, hi Stuart. And that is a D chord. So we've got an E minor chord, like so, and a D chord. And that's all we need to know to show the little ones a great little song that I used to sing at school myself. Stacey, it's great. You've turned up just at the right time. It was Stacey who was telling me that her grandchildren were learning guitar and stuff. So you just turned up in the nick of time, Stacey, because I'm going to take a look at the Drunken Sailor. And I've just been explaining the chords are just, as you pointed out, E minor and D. All right, so that's these 2 chords. That's your E minor, and that's your D. Okay, so we have, what you gonna do with a drunken sailor? What you gonna do with a drunken sailor? What you gonna do with a drunken sailor? Early in the morning, hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Early in the morning, put him on a boat until he's sober. Put him on a boat until he's sober. Put him on a boat until he's sober. Early in the morning, hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Early in the morning, shave his belly with a rusty razor. Shave his belly, the rusty razor. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. Early in the morning, hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. Early in the morning. All right, so as you can see, All right, really, really simple song. So let me just talk you through the changes and then we'll move on because we've got a lot to cover tonight. So we play an E, 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E, 2, 3, 4, LA in the morning. One more time, 1, 2, 3, 4, D, 2, 3, 4, E minor, 2, 3, 4, LA in D, E. Okay? So, it's very, very simple, all right? Very simple stuff. 3-chord Monty, great to see you, okay? And Dave Clark, obviously. Shave his belly with a rusty razor. It's a cracking line, isn't it? All right, so look, guys, that's a very, very simple one for you to have a go at. Just an E minor and a D chord. Now let me just do it one more time, really, really slow with the words, and I'll try and call the chords out as well, okay? And hopefully you can play this one for the little ones around if you get the opportunity, okay? So we've got E, what you gonna do with a drunken sailor? D, do with a drunken sailor. E minor, do with a drunken sailor. D and E. One more time, what you gonna do with a drunken sailor? D, do with a drunken sailor. E, so I hope that helps, Stacey, a little bit. Make it a little bit clearer. Just keep it very kind of simple is the best thing to do there. And hopefully some of you will be able to do that for your children or your grandchildren, or in fact the kiddies themselves could be playing. And I don't want any excuses, okay? Because I might hear some of the little ones saying, well, I haven't got a guitar, I've only got a ukulele. Well, as luck would have it, I've got one of those as well, okay? So there's no escaping this. You really need to be playing this. So if we play it on a ukulele, then we have the first string on the 2nd fret, and we have the 2nd string on the 3rd fret, and then we have the 3rd string on the 4th fret. Okay, so that's our E minor chord. All right, and then on the 2nd fret for the D, we just bar all the strings, but we're only playing the top 3 strings, yeah? So that's our D. All right, so we've got E minor and we've got D. So if you were playing it on the ukulele, and I must just say, thanks to my sister, Julie there, who's online tonight, I've got this beautiful ukulele. She travelled down to see me on my birthday a few years back and presented me with this little baby. So that's how I've got this. So, Drunken Sailor, all right? Here we go now. That would be good, Clara, yeah. Why don't you do that? It'd be nice for everybody to kind of join in, yeah? So we've got this kind of E minor and D. Okay, so here we go. What you gonna do with a drunken sailor? What you gonna do with a drunken sailor? What you gonna do? Drunken sailor, early in the morning. Hooray, and up she rises. Hooray, and up she rises. so on and so forth, yeah? So, yeah, obviously we can only spend so much time on the Drunken Sailor, but I really hope that some of you will have a little bit of a go at that, because, you know, you might be able to keep some of the little ones entertained for 10 minutes doing that. Yeah, it'd be really cool. All right, so we'll move on now. Now, as I mentioned a little while back, I had a lovely letter from Clara and Ettore. It's very difficult for me to pronounce the name because I don't know how to speak Italian, so that's very difficult. So I think it's Ettore. But anyway, I'd just like to say thank you for your letter. It was a wonderful letter saying that he's trying to learn a kind of song which his teacher gave him and didn't really give him a lot of instruction. So he found my video and he's been really trying hard to play that. And I'd just like to tell you personally, thank you for your letter, as I say, and you're going to be able to achieve anything that you really want to do on the guitar if you just keep doing what you're doing. I think what you're doing is absolutely fantastic, you know, to be playing at a very young age. It sounds like you started playing guitar before I did, okay? So that's really, really cool. So you've got a lot to look forward to. You're going to be able to do so many things. So just keep on playing, Ettore, yeah? And now you're learning with or without you guys. Now everybody can play along with this again if they want to, right? All we've got happening is a D chord. In fact, I'm just trying to remember now what we've got going on. Yeah, it's just 4 chords again, guys, okay? So we've got a D chord again, okay, which is that chord. Let me just show you that so you can see it. That's the chord that we've just learned, okay? Then we've got an A chord, like that. The A chord is just 3 strings all in the 2nd fret, okay? Yeah, like so. And then this is hard to do, but that's a kind of B minor, all right? So hopefully you can see that one. And then you can kind of play, hiya Gary, great to see you. Paul Barry, great to see you, okay. And then we've got a G chord here. You can play like that, like a bar chord, or you can play it like a normal G like that. Okay, so there's lots of ways of playing that G. So that's all the chords that you need to do. So now Ettore was asking me what strings to play. Okay, now just play the bottom 4 strings, all right? Now the first thing that we want to do for this song, guys, and I'm hoping that you're all joining in with the show tonight because I want to make it very interactive. Preston, great to see you. Hope you've got your guitar ready there. So I'd like everybody to join in on these videos if you possibly can. It would be really, really good, okay? Makes it much more interactive. So our first chord is this D, and for the D, we just play the bottom 4 strings. For the A, we just play the bottom 5 strings, or we can just play the bottom 4, okay? But we can also play 5 if we want to. So that's the A chord. And for the B minor chord is quite tricky chord, all right? So I'm sure you're familiar with that chord anyhow, because you're obviously practicing this one, right? So again, we can play the bottom 5 strings if we want to. And then for the G, you can kind of play them all really. But what I do when I play this is I'm just really playing between the 3rd, 4th and 5th strings, if I'm being perfectly honest. Now what you want to try and do with this song is to put this part of your palm on the strings, so when you play you get this kind of sound. It's really kind of a dampened sound, yeah? Now if you watch my videos kind of and you've watched a lot of my stuff, I talk about this kind of thing a lot, okay? So you're trying to get, rather than the sound where it's just open like this, that's fine, yeah, but it's even better if you can just put your palm there and go. Okay, I guess so, Andrew. I'm not entirely sure. I haven't tried it. So we're looking at the third and fourth strings really. But you know, like I say, nothing is written in stone here. Just, you know, as long as you're playing the bottom, let's say the second, third, and fourth, I would say that they're the most important strings. Right, on we go. So we have the D chord and we're trying to dampen like this. Now when we add the D chord, we have, when we go through the chords, D, A, B minor, G. Now what's very difficult for some people, okay, is that changing between the chords is a difficult thing. Now I'm going to be producing some videos on chord transitions because that's what it's about. Because generally when I hear people who are learning, there's often a delay before they get to the chords, so kind of this kind of thing, so I can show you. Now it's very common, okay, when people are starting out for things to be like that. And all you've got to do is just practice. There's no magic secret. It's just practice and practice and practice. And it will become gradually, okay, a lot smoother, those changes. There won't be a kind of delay. So let me play you a little bit of the song, okay? So you can kind of hear how it's going and how it's just constantly going round those four chords: D major, A major, B minor, and G. So we have, each chord has 4 beats. So you can count 4 on each of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? 3230, great to see you. You're very welcome. Alright, so there's 4 kind of beats, if you like, for each bar. So I'm going to play you a little bit, and this is what you want to try and be aiming for, Ettore. Doesn't matter how slow it is, as long as those chords are kind of going in the right place. Alright, so here we go. I'm going to just play it like I play it now. See the stone set in your eye, see the thorn twist in your side. I wait for you. A sleight of hand and twist of fate, on a bed of nails she makes me wait. And I wait without you, with or without you, with or without you. Through the storm we reach the shore. You give it all, but I want more. And I'm waiting for you, with or without you, with or without you. I can't live with or without you. Yeah? Get the idea? So that's what you're kind of looking to do ultimately. That's what where you're looking to get to with it. And hopefully you all had a little bit of a play along with that one, because I think there's a real tendency to look at some numbers or some songs and think, you know, they're very simple, they're a little bit boring, but it can be a real challenge to have timing that is very, very solid And if you have timing, which is very good, it's always going to sound really good. You know, it doesn't really matter too much about how fast it is. It can just be slow. You know, it can just be. See the stone set in your eye. See the thorn twist in your slide. Yeah, it doesn't have to be fast. It's really, really important for me to stress that. So take your time with it. It's all right, and hopefully, you know, you will get where you want to get to with that. I'm sure you will. You're doing. Sounds like you're doing very, very well. And maybe you can send me a video once you've got this. You're happy with what you're playing and things like that. Okay, so Leo is listening and playing through his Marshall amp that Martin rings out beautifully. Thanks, Leo. And okay, so I hope that helped Clara. I hope that helped your son kind of with learning that song, and you'll be able to come back to the video once this broadcast is over, and revisit it if he needs to. So I hope that helped. Okay. So now we're going to move on, guys. So that's the little ones out of the way. We've taken a look at the Drunken Sailor and a little bit of With or Without You. Now, hopefully, you know, you have joined in. It's great to hear Leo's been joining in there on his Les Paul. You know, it's really, really, really good that you can kind of have a go. All right. Now then, let's see what we've got. So I'm going to recommend another album of the week to you guys. And this week, it is a Lightning Hopkins album, and it's called Lightning, strangely enough. And I think it's been remastered. You're very welcome, Clara. And I'm glad that Case is enjoying it, slowed down. And Slavko, great to see you, Slavko. I'm going to be talking about a few things I think you might be interested in as well. So, yeah, like I was saying, Lightning Hopkins, the album is called Lightning. Palmer will be happy to know that. I'm sure he's worn out all his kind of vinyl. Well, mind you, I'm sure he just streams, I'm sure, with Spotify and stuff like that. But anyway, I'm sure it's nothing he hasn't heard. But this guy is the epitome of cool, okay? Lightning Hopkins. Album of the week, Lightning. Check it out. Another beautiful acoustic album. And I think that all these albums of the week have something in common. There's a very kind of similar kind of sound. So maybe next time I'm going to mix it up a little bit more and come up with something a little bit different about that, okay? Now, one other thing that I would like to make you all aware of, and now you hear me mentioning about the Facebook group all the time, but there is good reason for it, okay? So recently, over on my Patreon page, now you don't have to be a patron, okay? Anybody can go there and vote for their favourite 2 artists. Now, many of the people who are here tonight will tell you they've all voted. Okay, so we've got a lot of votes on this. Now, as I say, maybe Palmer could, or myself, will figure out somehow to kind of put a link to the vote in the description or something like that, because I would like absolutely everybody to take part in the vote. Essentially what it is it's your opportunity to get me to do a lesson of a song that you kind of like most, okay? So I think that's a fairly good offer, you know. Now I did intend to have the kind of score, the state of play at the moment. But what I can tell you is that Lightning Hopkins and Mississippi John Hurt are winning the vote at the moment. Okay, so Palmer's not going to lose either way. He loves both of those artists. But I should also note that Eric Clapton, Robert Johnson, a lot of these people are hot on the tails, okay? So your vote counts. So please vote. Nothing would make me happier. I go to a lot of trouble trying to get these videos to you, get these broadcasts to you, and I thoroughly enjoy it. But you could really do me a favor by kind of heading over there and casting your vote, because I'd just like it to be for everybody. I don't want to exclude anybody, okay? So enough said. You can do that on kind of my link, which will appear underneath this video once it's kind of uploaded. All right, time for a little drink of my lemon juice. I get a lot of questions asking me what I drink. It's not alcoholic. It's always a kind of fruit juice. I'm a good boy. I'm kind of trying to be healthy, at least in some ways. Okay. I have to say, that was worth risking my life for down at the shops earlier on. I had to get some drink. I'd run completely out. So I know that you're kind of also interested in listening to me play a few bits and pieces and things like that. Now, I haven't had a lot of time lately, as I've pointed out to some of you. I had a bit of an issue with my shoulder and my arm, so I wasn't able to kind of practice quite as much as I'd wanted to. But I'm working on a number of new songs, but I haven't had a lot of time. Now, a lot of you people will recognize that I've kind of been playing these on and off over the last few weeks, but you've probably seen as much as I've been playing them. I haven't actually been playing them a great deal, as much as I'd like to anyway. Hopefully all that's going to change. Now, what I would like to kind of do is give you a little bit of a flavour of some of these things I've been practicing. Now, I've been practicing another Robert Johnson one because there's quite a few people who are very, very keen on Robert Johnson. Very, very interested in his kind of songs. So I'm just quickly going to touch on this one I've been practicing. I haven't actually got it sorted out yet. So it's just one I'm kind of working out. It's got this typical kind of... Got a good friend, wanna stay right by your side. When you got a good friend that will stay right by your side. Give her all of your spare time, love and treat her right. I'm just going to play some guitar now. Same kind of thing. So you'll be familiar with this. Kind of shuffle that only Robert Johnson could really do. Got a good friend, wanna stay right by your side. Give her all of your spare time, love and treat her right. I mistreated my baby, I can't see no reason why. I mistreated my baby, I can't see no reason why. Every time I think about it, I just wring my hands and cry. So as you can see, it's very, very similar to the Hello There, Annie. It's very similar to the Sweet Home Chicago in many, many ways. Many, many ways. Unfortunately, I do find Robert Johnson is not in the greatest key for me to sing, so I'm going to have to kind of adapt that in some way. Might drop it down a little bit or raise it up a little bit. And that's sometimes what we've got to do. Although it's very difficult to, when you're trying to transpose these songs, you can't always put a capo on because of a lot of the bends and things like that make it difficult. So I try and just drop it down to maybe American tuning, you know, E-flat tuning, or just to suit my voice really. So that's something that you could think about doing. You know, I mean, generally speaking, people will use a capo to kind of, or a capo, a lot of people say, to transpose the song to a better key for kind of, you know, their voice, as it were. Okay, so that's something I've been taking a look at, and you can never kind of spend too much time on this riff. You know, you could lock me in a room for 6 months just playing. Because it's such a kind of, I see that as quite an advanced technique, you know. And, you know, not to say that you have to be advanced to play that kind of riff or anything, but I think, you know, refining it and getting it like, certainly getting it like Robert Johnson is a very, very big challenge. So that kind of stuff does take a little bit of practice. So that's something that I've been taking a look at. The Robert Johnson. I've also been taking a look at what was it? Now you've probably heard me do a little bit of this before, but I've been taking a look at Heard It Through the Grapevine as well, because I think there's some real value in this song. I'm a big soul fan. I'm not going to play you too much of it because I've played it kind of quite a bit when I've been on here doing some of the live broadcasts. But it's good to give you a heads up on some of the upcoming lessons, because it means you're going to have a head start. You know, you're going to get to know a little bit of, this is kind of behind the scenes before it's actually been done. I haven't actually covered any of this stuff yet. So yeah, this one is kind of D minor and G, a lot of it. Okay, and if you just play the bottom 4 strings, so yeah, okay. So what we need to do here, hi Wayne, is to show you what's going on. So I'm going to zoom into the camera a little bit, okay? It's like a kind of D minor shape for anybody who's interested. I'm just going to kind of give you a little heads up on it, right? So that's your kind of first chord there. It's like a D minor without the first finger, okay? I'm hoping that you can kind of see this. It's all a little bit of a guessing game, all right? I'll come back a little bit so you got a chance. So it's this chord, and you play that. So you go from there. God, this is difficult. I didn't plan for this one, guys. As I say, this is all going to get better. Just bear with me. So it goes from this shape up to the 4th and 5th fret. Sorry, I beg your pardon. To the 5th and 6th fret. All right. Yeah, so it's going between that shape, does that once, and then it does that one, and then once it's done the intro, it does this, a full D minor to a G, back to a D minor. Okay, now that is kind of enough for you to be getting on with, because it actually takes a little while to get that running smooth, because this D note is kind of rolling all the time, okay? And then we go into the You made it, Jeff. Great stuff. Now this comes back to what I was saying about transitioning, okay? That looks easy, but if you haven't done it before, it can actually be quite tricky. So be patient with yourself, because it does take time to kind of just get it really smooth. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you, hi Mickey, I'm going to give you a little kind of rendition. I bet you're wondering how I knew how a man to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine, baby. I heard it through the grapevine, and I'm just about to lose my mind. Now, it's like all things, the more you do it, and it's you know, myself included, the more that you sit down and dedicate to a kind of song, the more you're going to get out of it. So it makes a lot of sense. You know, I'm going to play that better in 20 minutes time than I am first time around, you know, because we all take a little bit of kind of time to get in a flow, as it were. So one more time. You're wondering how I knew about your plans to make me blue with some other guy you knew before. Between the two of us guys, you know I love you more. It took me by surprise, I must say, when I found out yesterday. Don't you know I heard it through the grapevine? Not much longer would you be mine, baby. I heard it through the grapevine, and I'm just about to lose my mind. Hey Feddy, yeah, so anyway, that's how that goes, all right? That's the kind of gist of it. So if you get started on that, then you're going to kind of develop a whole load of skills that you may not have kind of totally kind of honed in on, yeah? Because this is a great piece for practicing transitions, you know, get those smooth. It's kind of a little bit harder than it looks, and you can kind of slap and stuff like that if that's kind of what you're interested in doing. Okay, so that's Grapevine. I've been looking at that one, and I've also been taking a look at How Long Blues, which is a beautiful track. I'm going to play you just a little bit of that, okay? And then get your guitars ready, because we're going to have a big play along after I've played you How Long Blues. So make sure you're all tuned up and everything, guys, because we're going to be learning a song together. I hope you're going to join me for that, okay? Let me just get another guitar out. Let me get another kind of weapon of choice out here. So this is a kind of... Okay, so I'm in open tuning here. And so it's kind of a song that you can play using the chords E, A, and B7. And I think Preston likes this one, actually. I think Preston's mentioned this one to me before, and he's actually here tonight. He's our Louisiana friend. It's always great to have him along. He's been one of my very long-time supporters. It's wonderful to have you all along, yeah? But anyways, so this is called How Long Blues, and it's just a standard E, A and B7 kind of blues. Now, this is something that I'm going to, again, be doing a lesson on. So, again, you're getting a little bit of a heads up here, which is hopefully going to help you out in some way. So, I hope that you'll kind of join along with this if you're feeling, you know, kind of like you've got your guitar there ready. That's basically what all this stuff is about, guys. It's about joining in and playing together. So, this one goes like this. How long, baby, how long? How long? How long, baby, how long? Went to the station, didn't see no train. Down in my heart, I have an aching pain. How long, how long, baby, how long? I feel disgusted, I feel so bad, thinking about the good times that I once have had. How long, how long, baby, how long? I could see the green grass growing on a hill, ain't seen no greenback on a dollar bill. How long, how long, baby, how long? You're gonna be sorry, you feel so blue. Live the good times that I wanted to. How long, baby, how long? There we go now. How long, baby, how long has that evening train been gone? How long, how long, baby, how long? A little bit of How Long Blues for you there, guys. Okay. Yeah. So that's kind of good, yeah. Okay, so if you're kind of interested in that kind of blues stuff, you know, that's going to be a good one for you to have a little bit of a go at, yeah? Because that's a nice little tune to learn, and it's very, very, very straightforward, okay? So maybe give that a little bit of a look. Okay, now we're going to come to our play along session, okay, guys? Yeah? And you never guess what we're going to play tonight. Okay, I did make a kind of a kind of post earlier on the. Did it work for you? Did the earth move for you guys? You tell me. I can't see any comments up there. Yeah? Come on, is anybody telling me about... Yeah, lots of fun, George. I'm glad somebody replied to me. Solo in between the 12th and 15th. Well... yeah, I'm not so sure. So we've got... thanks, Joe, from Slavko, and Rod, and Jeff. The earth moved. Fantastic, Jeff. And I would suggest everybody kind of again goes to Facebook, because this is where we all perform. And so we all get a chance to kind of, you know, see one another. Okay, down on the bio, Preston. That's fantastic. That was fun, Joe from Bristol Blue. We got Stacey. We thought that was great, and Terry thought it was good, and Chris. Great first time. I had the guts to play along. I did well. Chris, that's what it's all about. Case, that was great. Do you know I couldn't ask for more, guys? It's just wonderful that you all joined along. We've had a wonderful evening. I've had a wonderful evening tonight. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Susie. Um, there is so much I didn't get chance to kind of cover tonight. Time has kind of beaten us, guys, and that's always a shame because I love doing this kind of thing. But the good news is, hey Yasmin, I'm glad that you enjoyed it too. That's wonderful. And is there anybody who hasn't been here before as well? Because it's great that we seem to be attracting a growing audience, and there's people coming from kind of all over the place, which is really really good. So, like for example, Yasmin, I haven't heard of before, and Clara, who was here with Ettore, and I'm glad you enjoyed it, Steve. So, yeah, it's just I can't believe how quickly that hour has gone, guys. It's gone extremely quickly. I hope that you've enjoyed it. And I hope that you're going to kind of follow up on some of those links down before. Hello there, Greg. You're a newbie. Well, I'm glad you joined us because it's wonderful to have you on board, Greg. So I hope that some of you will visit those links down below. Yeah, if it's the Facebook or the Patreon is really going to help me out during this difficult period. I know that many of you are already there, and that's wonderful. You're helping me continue on with all these kind of bits and pieces. Now, the Joe Show will return next Friday because I've had half of my gigs cancelled, and I am just kind of waiting for the other half to be cancelled because I don't think I'm going to be doing a whole lot of playing this year live. Obviously, it's not a great idea. I didn't exactly feel kind of great about going out there playing live. I don't really know, kind of, it's all a little bit worrying for everybody at the moment. So, I do hope that you kind of follow some of those links down below and ask some questions for future Joe shows and things like that. That would be really, really good to kind of follow up on some of that stuff. So, in short, guys, I'm going to be back with you next Friday. There is a slight possibility that I'll try and slot something in before that, perhaps at the beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, because there is a very mixed audience. So, kind of one group of people gets to see the show, but then a lot of other people don't get to watch it live. Okay? So I'm going to try and do a kind of, if I do a broadcast early in the week, it's going to be at a much earlier time to try and catch some of those people in the different time zones like Australia and things like that. Because I've had so many emails about people who would like to watch it live from other parts of the world. So, as I say, if there's another show, keep an eye out. I'll do a broadcast on YouTube. You'll always get a heads up on Facebook and Patreon. So you're going to know exactly what's going down there. I'm going to be back with you soon, guys, both on YouTube with another lesson. I'm also releasing a chord of the day at the moment for people who are looking to get started. You may or may not have seen some of those kind of videos. But if you know absolutely anybody, maybe you could post these kind of chords on your your Facebook page or something like that to help everybody get interested in the guitar. So there's a chord of the day every day for a kind of week or two. So I'm hoping you're going to check all that out, guys. Just keep an eye out, and if you switch on the notifications on YouTube, then you're going to be up to date with everything, okay? Thank you ever so much for joining me. I really appreciate you taking the time out of your day at such a difficult time for everybody. Please all stay safe and well. That's the most important thing. And I'm thinking of you all. I hope you all keep well until we meet up again. And I'm really, really looking forward to doing that again soon. If you have any suggestions you'd like covered on the show, drop those down below once the show's being broadcast. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon, guys. Thank you very much indeed for watching. Take care.